So I want to start off. Senator Van Hollen and Democrats flying to El Salvador to demand that El Salvador release one of their own citizens from prison and then bring that criminal who already broke our laws back to the United States. Is it fair for me to ask just whose side are Democrats on?
You don't have to ask, because their actions show everything. They aren't on the side of Lincoln Riley. They aren't on the side of American people. They were silent during all of that. They are on the side of the illegals. And if they care so much about law and order like they profess, where in the due process? Where were they on the due process when he entered our country illegally? They were nowhere to be found. It is a clear contrast, and we need to shout this from the roof, and I appreciate what you're doing. The Democrats are on the side of the criminals. They care more about the criminals and banding together and going to El Salvador to bring back illegals back to our country to commit more crimes. We, as Republicans, we care about Americans. We care about the law, and we care about the victims, not the criminals.
Let's talk about Harvard. The university is refusing to comply with a list of reforms from the Trump administration. Harvard's president writing, quote, no government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue, end of quote. I say, Congresswoman, fine. Cut off all taxpayer money to Harvard and they can do whatever the heck they want. What do you say?
Well, what I say is receiving federal dollars is a privilege, not a right. These are dollars from hardworking American people that don't believe in anti-Semitism, that believe that universities that don't follow the law, that don't want to be transparent, shouldn't receive those dollars. So here's what I say. One, you should be saying thank you for the receiving the dollars and understanding that they're a privilege. And you know what? If you don't want to follow the rules of receiving, and that's fine, but we also have a right too. So if you have a right to do whatever the heck you want to do, we also have a right too. But notice how they kick and scream and they file lawsuits and they whine like little babies when they don't get their millions of dollars. It's really simple. Yeah. Follow the rules. Yeah. You have a choice, but guess what? We have a choice, too.
Yep, I would love to repurpose some of that Harvard money, maybe to some of the victims of the Democrats' illegal immigration. That would be a great use for that money. Since you're on the Education Committee, we also wanted to ask you about parental school choice. Today, Texas is deciding as to whether or not they will join the civilized states in allowing parental school choice and education freedom. Shouldn't Congress support the states by fully getting the federal government out of education? Why hasn't Congress moved on this?
Well, a real good answer, I don't know, to be honest with you. We should move on it. Every year we spend more and more dollars on education, and our results get lower and lower. You would never do that in any business. You would never do that to spend more money and get less value for your money. Yet we do that time and time again with education. Gee, I wonder why we continue to do that. I can share with you, President Trump is committed to the Department of Education, or lack thereof. Is if we're going to give the Department of Education money, they better use it for merit. Ooh, that's a dirty word now. Merit-based outcomes, right? And if you're not going to do that, why do we need to continue to throw millions upon millions of dollars to the states and to the Department of Education? How about this? How about if we just took that same money and actually gave it to the students, and they could use it for tutoring, for extracurricular, for math, science program, skilled trades programs? Why do we have to give it to a bloated bureaucracy called the Department of Education? Why couldn't we just give it to the students?
Singing my song. Congresswoman Lisa McClain, thank you for being with us. We really appreciate the time.